It's in the name.
Welcome into the Helping Healing Humor with Ben and Travis podcast, coming to you from Faulkner University. We love Faulkner. We're at the lectureships this week, and on this episode, we'll be talking a little bit about the lectureships and also the big debate that's coming up on Thursday. And so if you're listening to this in podcast form, it is not live, but if you're on YouTube right now or Facebook, it's coming to you live. And so we're thankful for you listening in, whether it's as we're live or later on. But we'll get to an important conversation with President Mitch Henry right after these important messages. This episode of the Helping Healing Humor with Ben and Travis podcast is presented by Faulkner University. Faulkner University is a private Christian liberal arts university based in Montgomery, Alabama, with a mission to provide an education anchored by not only intellect, but also character and service. The Faulkner experience aims to educate the whole person. Every individual matters every day. We all want to become better versions of ourselves. No one wants to remain trapped where they are because of missed opportunities and unrealized dreams. At Faulkner University, we believe your dreams don't have an expiration date. We understand that you're looking for more than a degree. You want to find your niche and thrive in your career. Whether you're a high school senior just beginning your trek or an adult student looking for a better path, Faulkner is here to help guide your journey. Go to faulkner.edu to apply or get more info. That's faulkner.edu. All right, I'm Travis Creasy. Over there all the way to the other end is Ben Hayes, all-pro counselor Ben Hayes with Three Chord Counseling in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. Ben, it's been a great week at Lectureship, right?
It has. I love this campus. I had not had a lot of affiliation with Faulkner before a few years ago, I guess. And it's just, I told Travis, every time I come here, I fall in love with it a little bit more. It's just a great place, great atmosphere, Bible verses like on every wall. And I love that. Just a great emphasis on Christian education. Love the people here and love President Henry and all that he does. And just always glad to have you on the show with us.
It's great to be on the show with you, Brother Ben and Travis. I appreciate what you do so much. You reach out to so many folks and you're impacting lives. And it's an honor for me to be here with you today.
We're thankful to be on campus. It's always a great drive down. It's a beautiful place to be. And we've seen you running all over the place, trying to be, I'm sure, in several places at one time. But man, it's just been a great event. We've heard some great speakers. It's kind of one of those things where you wish you could be in about 3 different places because they're just so great presenters, so many great presenters. And we've been able to present every day and look forward to in just a little while putting in our last lesson. But it's been great. And of course, like I mentioned, the big debate tomorrow that's happening on campus.
Yes.
Really enjoyed last year's. Was just a great event. Well done. And just enjoyed that. We are going to have to go back home, but as a Bible teacher at Riverside, I'm sure that the debate will have it on in the classroom with my students as we did last year. So just appreciating the great event y'all are having here.
Absolutely.
And of course, tomorrow.
Appreciate you pulling up the live stream. And please go to faulkner.edu, folks who are watching out there, and pull up the live stream. We'd love for you to see it live. But then, of course, we'll have it posted on YouTube. It'll be out there on the internet. And I hope you can enjoy it, use it as a resource, hopefully. The debate is going to be so relevant. If you're watching us from the state of Alabama, you know that in the Alabama legislature last year, we were 1 vote away from having massive, comprehensive casino, sports, lottery, and betting throughout the state of Alabama. And it was a really odd moment in the history of the state for that to happen. And what's interesting about the debates, if you follow the news and looked at things, is unlike previous years when there's been a lottery bill in the state, there was little messaging or discussion even in public discourse about whether or not gambling is moral. Mm. And so our debate topic is gambling moral?
Yeah. And
we're fortunate to have 2 excellent folks that will be involved in the debate. Bill Pascrell, who is from up north. He is with the lobbying firm, the Princeton Public Affairs Group. He's Seton Hall, I think, is the law school he went to. extremely intelligent, articulate man, has a background in the Catholic faith. He is going to take the position that gambling is moral. And Dr. David Hester, who is in the Bible department and ministry, primarily a ministry-focused professor, is going to take the position that gambling is not moral. And we're excited about that. It'll be a 2-hour debate, follow the format like we did last year with Brother Kyle Butt and the nationally known skeptic and atheist Michael Shermer last year. So we'll take a similar format, and it'll be a formal debate. Won't be like these presidential and vice presidential debates.
Well, I'll say that was very refreshing last year.
Oh yeah, it was great.
And I've seen Dr. Shermer on several different movies and documentaries and things. So that brought a lot of credibility. And you're saying just the same with Mr. Pasquarel is that articulate you're going to have, and the back and forth and the kindness that is shown. And I was just really impressed. And if nothing else, obviously there's a lot that my kids gained from seeing it, myself included. But just to see that, that there can be a public discourse and it not be vitriol between the two.
That is so true, Travis. We're going to say
I was going to say, and it was Mr. Hester that was the moderator last time. And so he kind of kept things in check if there ever, and there really never was anything that was major, but he would say, well, that's not the time for that particular part. Well, he's the one debating this time. That's right. So he's going to take care of that part.
Y'all mentioned civility in discourse. If there's anything that this nation needs at this time, it is civility in discourse. Some of the reactions to the recent vice presidential debate, it was so much in contrast to the presidential debate, where both of the opponents were actually civil and courteous to one another. And there is so much that can be gained from civil discourse in a debate. You don't see it much here lately. There's almost a fear, I think, of people. If you're debating, that's a negative thing. That's a bad thing. We shouldn't debate one another. We should agree to disagree and get along. And that's not what the country was built on. We've got a long tradition of civil discourse going back to well before our founding fathers, going back in the English common law tradition. As an attorney, our common law in America is built upon the British system. And I've been going to court all my life and have for the last 29 years before becoming a college president. I made a living being civil and presenting things in a courtroom. And, a lawsuit, it's an organized fight.
Yeah.
It has rules and you follow the rules, but it is a fight. And it's what keeps people from dueling and killing one another and feuding with one another over civil matters. That's what I did forever. So when I got here as president, I got with our Bible department who had our lectureship had been suspended. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring this back. And when we bring it back, we're going to bring it back with excellence. We're going to bring it back and with an evangelistic focus. And we're going to be relevant as to what is needed. And last year started with the is the God of the Bible real? This year is gambling moral? I think we can't get much more relevant than that.
I think the theme of grace just sets the stage. You're not going to show up too many folks to a place that's studying grace and come away angry at each other. But I think we're so soundbite driven in this day and age where I need a 30-second clip. Oh, yeah. And they can be fine. And there's a lot of evangelism done in 30-second clips. But kind of the desire there is to do that. And a lot of times you lose the context. And so, I just love it's kind of a long form, at least for our expectations, probably a couple of decades ago, 2 hours is very long.
No, it wasn't a big deal years ago.
But it's so nice to see in a setting that's grace. And I'll mention that in the description of this video, and there'll be the link to the Faulkner website where you can either watch that live or watch it later. I'm sure they'd appreciate a subscribe to their YouTube channel. I'm sure there's chapel, all kinds of good things, content on there. So be sure to do that. But like I mentioned, the whole week has just been phenomenal. We We're in Miles Stutt's presentation. We're in Kyle Budd. I went to Digital Babylon this morning with Jason Helton, which was great. All of his stuff's good. Ben, you've been to a couple.
John McMath's today was really great. And he did it on My Grace is Sufficient for You. Really good message there. There's just every one of them I've been in have been top notch, except for the ones we were in.
Oh, come on now.
Did. I don't know that ours were top notch, but everybody else's. You had some really great.
Then I've heard
ministers and
great
preachers.
feedback from our students and other folks on your sessions and what you guys do. It's so important and critical. You know, we're living in a time post-pandemic and with all of this technology where mental health, particularly of young people, is so critical. And we're committed as a university, not just to helping our own students and encouraging them like you do so much with your podcast and your work together with students and in mental health, but we're committed to training the next generation of mental health professionals. I don't know if y'all know Heath Willingham, but Heath runs our licensed clinical counseling program for graduate students, gives a master's degree in that. And his brother Capes, who is his father-in-law, and just a wonderful, godly man. I've been involved working in the church for years, helps with that program. And it's fully online except for some on-campus didactics that happen once a semester.
Those are good.
And not only are they helping develop the next generation of licensed clinical counselors, this summer we've begun to allow our licensed clinical counseling students to provide, under supervision, but to provide licensed clinical mental health counseling for our free special needs therapy clinic.
Wow.
And it's got an autism clinic component. So the parents, they can go there and the children, whether they're small children or adults, they can get physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech and language therapy, behavioral therapy, and then not just the patient, but the entire family gets licensed mental health counseling.
That's awesome.
And
That's
I don't know anywhere else in the country that's doing all that together, but it's right here in Central Alabama. We've got folks driving up from the Wiregrass and the Black Belt areas of the state, coming down from Clanton and points north, and coming over from Auburn and
That's an awesome
even
resource.
Tuscaloosa. It's such a blessing.
And I love, we're just a few steps away from, I think, the Cloverdale Counseling Center.
Yes,
that's here
yes.
and so it's here on campus, and it's really nice in there. And I kind of walk by it and glance in there every now and then, and just think how nice of a counseling center. And most people, I think people are starting to realize this, but campuses, college campuses provide counseling for students, and I'm assuming most of those are. I know at least in our public schools, it's free counseling for students if they need it. Because I get called a lot of times about kids in our area or college age kids in our area about they're needing counseling, and I'm like, you realize there's free counseling that's provided on these college campuses,
Right.
and so that's a great resource too, to know that
Absolutely.
kids, no matter where they're at, they're away from home, they're going through some tough stuff, they can be recommended to referred over to a counseling
That is so
place
true.
on campus. They don't have to go anywhere.
We've got rock star counselors here. One of them looks like Santa Claus.
Yes.
Yes.
Y'all know
We've had
who I'm
him on,
talking
yeah.
about. Brother Roxy's been on your show, and they do such good work. In addition to that, we're looking for ways to connect with our traditional students and our online students and graduate students, our law students, our health sciences students. There's so much pressure in graduate school. We're seeing an uptick in the need for mental health attention and care there. We've got a phone 24-hour system that we subscribe to, so that if our counseling center is not open, our students can reach out to that. And we've got a number of students that are international around the world that are tuning in online, and even those remote from campus can connect with our folks on campus or on that 24-hour service that we provide.
Well, I think y'all do a great job in the time that we've been here taking the lectureship and mixing, the cutting edge things that are going on right now, and making them relevant. Of course, we believe anything in the Bible is relevant, and we'll always, even after we're long gone, but to take it and to do so well and naming the sessions and really incorporating that where it kind of grabs people's attention, go, oh, I want to go to that one. And then of course it gets into, I want to go to that one and that one. And it's the same time, man, I've got to make a decision here. And,
Right.
but I just appreciate y'all's approach and everybody that goes into organizing that. I'm sure it's
glad to do it.
It's a big organization that makes it happen.
There was a lot of organization to it. David Hester, Dr. Billy Hillier, multiple members of our committee. This year, we mashed homecoming together.
I was going to mention that.
With
It's been
the lectureship and the Lads to Leaders Invitational,
yes,
which is a speech contest where we award young people who give Bible speeches. The top speech makers, male and female, get a full tuition scholarship.
And not only that, you guys kind of open that up even to some of the others. They got some scholarships as well. One of the biggest scholarship awardings that there's ever been, right?
Yes. I did not ask my CFO or our board chair about this. No, I did. But we awarded almost $2 million in scholarship discounts. Tuition at Faulkner is over $22,000 per year, and it's worth every dime of that because students get personal attention. They learn in a Christian environment. And in this day and age, it's critical for students to have a good environment to learn in. But each participant, and these participants were winners in Lads to Leaders from Nashville, from their big contest there, from Atlanta, Georgia, Orlando, Florida, Dallas, Texas. We had multiple state winners here, and they all got $16,000.
Awesome.
So we're excited about that. Most of them were juniors. There were a couple of sophomores, a couple of seniors, and we're excited about having those students hopefully come here and take part in the theme of this university, which is what you guys do, and that's vocational ministry. Make your career a ministry to serve other people, whatever you do.
You've got tremendously talented people here that work for you, but also go to school here. And a lot of them I know, and it speaks their kindness that they're so kind to us and treat us so well when we're here. But we know you're busy. We all have other sessions we want to get to for sure.
This is a great, almost a week off for us. I mean, we got to come down here and soak in things and learn. And then we got to teach a little bit. It's kind of a retreat feel for us. And so what was it like having the week off for you? I mean, right? It feels like it's been a week. I was going to say, what's it like?
2 weeks.
I'm so worn out.
Yeah.
This started.
What's it like being the president of a university on a week like this?
So let's go back a week ago. Thursday of last week, we announced our homecoming court at Chapel. That afternoon, we had intramural contest, softball and basketball, 3-on-3 work. We had a area soccer games, and then we had Midnight Madness. So at midnight Thursday night,
we're going to pack everything in a week and a half, everybody.
Until 1 a.m.
Shutting down school after the lectureship.
That's right. Isn't that great? So Thursday night at 1 o'clock, I'm with my chief of staff and Hal Wynn, our softball coach, whose softball team girls were number one academically in the NAIA in the United States of America. Had the highest GPA. So we're out there at 1 o'clock in the morning, and we're having a basketball dunking contest, a Halloween costume contest, and 3-on-3 basketball championship. And then before we did that, we smashed a car.
I was about to say, in a smashed car out
You
front.
saw that?
Travis has a connection with that car.
Yeah,
Was that your car?
That's Riley Hall's old car.
Oh my, you're kidding.
No, he was telling me he was coming down here. He's on our coaching staff. He coached football with me this year. And
that's
he played
great.
football for me, that's a whole different thing. But I had to go take a picture with his car. I was like, hey, do you recognize this car? So
our students, they could
they did a number to
They
it.
did. My favorite moment that night was not the dunking contest, which was amazing. Got amazing basketball athletes here. My favorite moment was when one of our students, who is a college student, very intelligent, very talented student, but he will tell you he is on the autism spectrum. And he has been welcomed by this student body here, celebrated, encouraged. He took a turn at smashing the car.
Yes.
And he goes through the tape area to get there. And before he raises the sledgehammer, spontaneously, the students all around start yelling his name over and over and chanting it. That was my favorite moment, maybe of the entire weekend.
Yeah.
And then on Friday, we had events all day long on campus with our students. And that night we went to Montgomery's. There are only 3 like this in the country, but Whitewater Park.
Yeah. Somebody's talking about that.
Yes, it's an Olympic quality, amazing feat of engineering, Olympic quality recreation of rapids in Whitewater. And so I'm in a boat out there paddling around. And I don't know if you remember, we had a cold snap that night. So it's about 50 degrees and I'm cold. I'm wearing a cowboy flannel shirt. And we're going around in that boat, and I had a couple of football players with me, and I had Rayla Black, who's our accounting professor, sitting next to me. And our guy decided to put the boat into the rapids, and it tipped up and then started flipping over. The 2 football players went off, and one got swept away in the current. We rescued him. He's okay. And Rayla Black, Professor Black, when I turned to look at her, all I see is feet, legs, and a vest. The rest of her is off into the water.
No.
And so I reached over and I snatched her and pulled her back in. And
So you've saved a life this week, too.
Well, that was fun.
Including your
Superhero. Yes.
Well, it was saving my life. I couldn't lose a accounting professor. It's hard. They're hard to find. And then on Saturday we had our homecoming game. Lots of events. There we had, for the first time in the history of the university, a flyover by military jets.
That's incredible.
So the 187th wing out at Danley Field, it's the Red Tails, which celebrates the Tuskegee Airmen. They flew 2 of their F-35 jets. Now, each of those jets cost $100 million. So for just a moment,
I had a $2 million fly.
There's a $200 million hovering over
That's awesome.
Billy Hillier Stadium and John Mark Stallings Field. So that was wonderful. We didn't win the game, but it was such a wonderful day. And the lads contest started on Saturday. That ended on Sunday. The lectureship started Sunday night with my keynote. And we've been doing lectureship almost 18 hours a day.
And it's only been like 2 weeks ago that you had the benefit dinner.
That's
which
correct.
Was huge. So, I mean, why don't you take a break? Like,
I'm gonna
if we
take
could
a
give
break.
you the day off, we would.
That's
But
what I was
we
going to
can't
say.
give it
Like,
to you.
you need to break, but you got to get through tomorrow at least 12:30, right? Because
That's right.
The debate kicks off at 10:30. It will be on YouTube. It'll be live streamed. Obviously, it'll be on there afterwards as well if you can't watch it live. Be sure to click the link in the description. It'll take you right there. Hit that subscribe button. I think you can even click the bell to be notified when it goes live. So be sure to do that. President Henry, we sure do appreciate your
Thank you so
time.
much.
and
Travis, we
jumping
love
on
you
with us.
guys.
We
Yes,
love you
sir.
all.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you, Brother
Faulkner.
Ben. Yes,
And,
sir.
we will certainly be in touch. But thank you,
All
sir.
right. God bless you guys.
Hey, parents and young adventurers, are you ready to embark on an extraordinary journey? Introducing The Adventures of Ben and Travis and the Worry Coaster, a thrilling ride through the ups and downs of mental health in our new children's book. Join our dynamic duo as they navigate the twists and turns of their emotions while discovering the courage to conquer their worries. Pre-order your ticket to adventure now at benandtravis.com/books and be among the first to embark on this roller coaster of resilience. Let's turn worry into wonder and empower kids to embrace their feelings with bravery and hope. Buckle up. It's going to be an unforgettable ride.
Thanks for being with us for this episode of the Helping Healing Humor podcast. Be sure to download our free ebook, 28 Days of Focused Living, at benandtravis.com and receive all of our Helping Healing and Humor extra content directly in your inbox. We look forward to having you join us at the same Ben and Travis time, same Ben and Travis channel.